Hello, unlimited friends. It's Zara back again with Q&A about the law of attraction. Question today is from Prasant, and he wants me to elaborate on grid work. Grid work is a term used by Abraham Hicks. And Prasant, you've asked me a really difficult question. But it's a question that I would need to illustrate the answer because the illustration is going to make so much more sense than if I speak to it. So before I get started with the drawing, here's what I will say to you. Grid work is a concept that explains all of the process of manifesting. Now, you can imagine it as I'm speaking, or you can follow along when I illustrate it. So I'm going to switch out, and instead of seeing me, you will see my desktop, and I will draw as best as I can to help you to understand the concept of grid work. And so before I get started, before I switch screens, thank you for everyone who is returning to my channel. Thank you for being here. And for those of you who are new, hello, welcome. I'm ZMAHOON. I'm the author of 12 books on the subject of law of attraction, and I write the blog ZMAHOON.com. On this channel, I like to respond to questions mainly from my viewers. So if you have a question, please leave me a comment below, or you can send me an email through my website, ZMAHOON.com. All right, that's it. I'm switching out and going to my desktop so that I can illustrate how grid work works and how manifesting can be explained with the use of this concept by Abraham Hicks. Okay, here we are, Prasant. This is my desktop. And what I did was I created what looks like a grid. So a grid is rows and columns that create this waffle type of a structure. This is a grid. So when Abraham talks about the grid, they are actually trying to explain to us how the emotional scale works. And what they're saying is that the easiest way to accomplish our desires is if we create the outline. So this black line, we create the outline of the desire and we leave the specifics up to the universe. So if I was wanting to buy a house, let's say, if I wanted a house, and this outer line would be, for me, this would be my wish for a house, right? So if I was going to get specific, then I would say, well, this box here is the location of the house. This is how many rooms it must have. This is how many windows it must have. This is the size of the backyard it must have. This is whether it has a one car parking or two car parking or a garage. That's what this is. So I can have so many criterias. These are all my criterias about the house. And what Abraham is saying is, because most people don't really know where they are on the emotional scale, the safest thing to do is to not get specific. Just be general. Focus on the house. You know how Abraham keeps telling us, be general, be general, be general? Well, that's what it means. Being general means focus on the fact that you want a house and don't hinge your decision to get a house based on all of these criterias. Let the universe fill in the grid. Let the universe figure out the specifics. And as long as you um, tell the universe, find me a house that makes me happy, then that's all it needs to be. And these specifics we don't need to think about. These are the specifics. We don't need to think about the specifics. We just need to focus on the house, a happy house, and stay general. So stay away from becoming specific. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, here we go. Specific. Now, superimpose this with the emotional scale. So if I was going to superimpose this with the emotional scale, I would draw the emotional scale right here. I would say, here is this line. It represents the emotional scale. And up here is love. Down here is despair. And right in the middle here is worry, right? So if you are in a place of love and joy, then you will automatically become specific about these things that you want in the house, because you'll be in a place where you can touch it, feel it. It's like it's right there. But if the house is not coming, that means that you're not up here, that you're somewhere down here in the negative part of the emotional scale. And a lot of times people don't know if they are here. Especially I see when I'm coaching people, I see that a lot of people feel that they're up here. They say that they're feeling pretty good. Zara, I was feeling pretty good. Then why did something bad happen? Well, sweetheart, it's law of attraction. And nothing bad can happen unless you've got an accumulated energy of negativity. That is why bad things happen. So the bottom line is, the conclusion is that most people have no idea whether they are here or somewhere along this line on the emotional scale. And one of the things that makes this really complicated is the fact that we go up and down the emotional scale minute to minute during the day. We are going up and down based on what's happening inside our heads and what is happening outside in the world. So the best thing to do is to go general. Stay general, because when you are general, you're not creating attachment to the outcome, because the thing that goes wrong with this picture that I'm painting for you here is that if you are in this realm of the emotional scale, you have what Abraham calls attachment to the outcome. And if you have attachment to the outcome, that means you have resistance. And if you have resistance, then you cannot get to where you want to go because of the resistance that's on your path. So going general is a way of making sure that we don't have any attachment and we don't have any resistance. And what does this translate into? If you really talk about law of attraction and you translate this into what it truly means, then going general translates into one word, and that word is trust. Right? So trust. When you trust that the universe knows what you want, that the universe wants you to have what you want, then you don't worry about the specifics. You have complete trust that whatever these specifics end up being, you don't have to worry about it, because whatever it is, overall, it will be good for you. Even if there are some things in this house that need fixing, it's not going to upset you, because somehow, some way, all of that will be taken care of, because the universe has your back. So the grid work that Abraham has been talking to us about way back in the old days, this is grid work. This is grid. So what is grid work? So this is the grid, and grid work is you just create the outline of what you want, the broad outline, and leave these specifics to the universe, because the universe knows what you want more than you do, because you might have forgotten that you, at one point in time when you were 10 years old, you wanted a house with a balcony. But the universe hasn't forgotten. So when the universe finds a house for you, it will have a balcony. And when you look at that, you will say, oh gosh, I really like that balcony. I didn't even think about the fact that I might want a balcony, but here's a balcony in this house. I really like this feature of this house. And so that's what grid work is all about. It is about understanding that we don't need to get specific, and also understanding an extremely important thing. And that important thing is that the higher you are on the emotional scale, becoming specific is automatic, but it's not forced. You don't feel like you have to write it down. You don't feel like you have to remind the universe. From the top of the emotional scale, becoming specific is automatic. It just happens because it feels natural. It doesn't feel like it's a very big step. So one of the things that I've learned from Abraham is that if you are over here, you're worrying about whether or not you'll find the house that you want, well, then you are vibrating this vibration of worry, which is only going to bring you outcomes that line up with this vibration of worry. Whereas the house that you want is up here, it's at a place of love and joy. And Abraham says, you can't get there from here because this distance is too big a jump. This distance between where you are at a place of worry to a place of love and joy is too big a distance. You can't jump this. You have to do the vibrational emotional work and go up the emotional scale. What does that mean? That means I have to do the self-talk that says, I can trust the universe has my back, the universe understands exactly what I want and is going to take me there. So I'm not going to worry about whether or not the house has all these things. And so the way I'm going to decide whether I want a house or not is by going in there, taking a look, and then closing my eyes and asking myself, does this feel good? And if it feels good, then it's easy. Go ahead, you are in position, do it. And if it doesn't feel good, all that means is that you haven't done the work to go up the emotional scale. Because remember, the reason I say that is because if you had done the work to go up the emotional scale, what color should I use next? Let's use black. So if you had done the work to go up the emotional scale, you would never meet up with this alternative. It's not possible because you're up here and it's down there. So all the houses that you go to see when you're high on the emotional scale, all of them will have most of the criteria, all of the criteria that you want without your having to think about it. And you'll just know it because you'll feel so high flying. You will know that all is well and that there are many houses. Your attitude will be different. Over here, it's an attitude of lack. Lack says the house that I want does not exist. Here, the attitude is one of abundance, and that attitude says there are plenty of houses of the type that I want. There's so much to choose from. In fact, there's so much to choose from that I just don't even know what to do. There are so many options, and all of them are good. So, sweetheart, that is what grid work is. Abraham started using the term grid work because they thought that it would make it easier for us to understand this concept, very important concept. And this concept is the concept of trust. All right, so here I am. I'm back. Did you enjoy my drawing skills? Well, I love technology. I think it makes it so much easier to do so many things that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And I absolutely love illustrating the law of attraction because it is so easy to explain all of law of attraction with the help of diagrams. The book Thrive, which I don't have handy to show you. However, the book Thrive is actually based on 42 diagrams that build on each other to explain how the process of manifesting takes place based on the law of attraction. If you're interested in grabbing the book or taking a peek inside, the link to Amazon for the book is in the description below. So please go and check it out. And before I say goodbye, thank you for visiting me. If you would leave me a comment, I would really appreciate it. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.